Hello, I'm Lara Kulcharsan and this is Newsfeed, your dose of what people are talking about online. The global AI race took a dramatic turn on Monday. The Chinese AI chatbot DeepSeek rocked financial markets and knocked $1 trillion off the value of US tech stocks. The app, developed for a fraction of the cost of its American rivals, is being hailed as a game changer in artificial intelligence. Its release triggered a massive sell-off, with Nvidia losing nearly $600 billion in market value. That's the biggest one-day loss in US history. Google's parent company Alphabet lost $100 billion, and Microsoft saw $7 billion wiped from its value. DeepSeek's R1 model is already outperforming some of the top AI tools from OpenAI, Google, and Meta on key benchmarks. And it's doing it with far fewer chips, raising questions about the billions US companies have poured into AI development.
DeepSeek is an open source model, meaning the code is available online, and it performs as well as OpenAI's O1 model, or about as well. And the O1 model is a very expensive model, costs hundreds of millions of dollars to train, and that is what you pay for if you pay for ChatGPT. But somehow this model, this open source model, which was only trained for $5 million as opposed to hundreds of millions of dollars, performs as well. The DeepSeek team was able to train the model for such a low price because they created these clever workarounds. So they actually used less expensive AI chips, and that's because the US created restrictions that prevented export of NVIDIA chips to China. So they had to be clever and work around it. And so they actually used less expensive parts, less cutting-edge AI chips that are very expensive. They also altered the architecture of the model, which is what typically the large language models look like and how their kind of structure is. They altered that to remove computations to make it less expensive to train. And so what this means is that all the companies who are spending billions of dollars on NVIDIA GPUs don't have to do that.
OpenAI CEO Sam Altman called the Chinese app's launch invigorating, praising its efficiency and cost-effectiveness. Meanwhile, US President Donald Trump called DeepSeek a wake-up call and urged American industries to double down on innovation to maintain their edge.
Release of DeepSeek AI from a Chinese company should be a wake-up call for our industries that we need to be laser-focused on competing to win. We always have the ideas. We're always first. So I would say that's a positive. That could be very much a positive development. So instead of spending billions and billions, you'll spend less and you'll come up with, hopefully, the same solution.
If you've ever used it, sure, it's interesting, but you cannot convince me that their model is better than ours. Sure, while it's very cost effective, that's impressive. Companies in this space are not prioritizing cost over quality. Number two, people are acting like this just ended the AI race. I'm sorry, this just sped it up. This just created some healthy competition. NVIDIA is going to be doubling down. Companies are going to be doubling down. Sorry, we want to win the race. So spending is going to increase and there's going to be some crazy innovation that comes out of this. Number three is my main takeaway from this is that we are probably insanely close to AGI. And if you understand that, that means insane things for humanity and business altogether. Companies like NVIDIA are going to be huge in that progress. Like, their technology helps power AI development globally. They're not going anywhere.
The AI app might have climbed to the top of the Apple Store charts and sent shockwaves through US stocks. But the Chinese chatbot avoids answering questions about certain topics, especially if they're about China and its government. To test it, we asked DeepSeek a couple of sensitive questions. And the internet is doing what it does best, creating memes. Social media is buzzing with smart, hilarious jokes about ChatGPT's so-called defeat at the hands of DeepSeek.
中国现在我有冰淇淋，我很喜欢冰淇淋。
TikTok is on the clock again. Trump has granted the app a 75-day extension to find a buyer, delaying another potential ban. But time is running out. The White House is now brokering talks between TikTok's China-based parent company ByteDance and potential US buyers. Oracle is currently leading the pack with plans to take over the app's algorithm, data collection, and software updates. Trump says Microsoft is also in discussions and has made it clear he wants a bidding war over TikTok. Other names thrown into the mix include billionaire Frank McCourt and Shark Tank investor Kevin O'Leary. And then there's the world's biggest YouTuber, Mr. Beast, who claims investors are reaching out after he tweeted his interest. And if that wasn't enough, earlier this month, Bloomberg reported that China has even considered selling TikTok to none other than Elon Musk. Meta has announced that it'll begin testing ads on its social network Threads. With over 300 million active users each month, the company is ready to turn engagement into revenue. Well, we all kind of saw this coming. It wasn't a question of if, but when. Since its launch, CEO Mark Zuckerberg hinted that the platform would be all about keeping users engaged. And now it looks like Meta is ready to make some moves. The tech giant will start by testing ads with a handful of brands in the US and Japan. So if you're one of the millions already on Threads, expect to see those sponsored tags popping up in your feed soon. And what will they look like? Pretty similar to what they have done on Facebook and Instagram, where ads are everywhere. In your feed, stories, reels, you name it.
There's a danger monetizing too early, since ads will surely negatively impact engagement and growth. And after reporting a 27% increase in revenue year over year for Q1, there's no reason to rush it. Whenever Threads monetizes, it'll be a bonus for advertisers. More inventory should mean lower costs.
There's a new movement aiming to take social media out of the hands of billionaires and put it back where it belongs, with the users. It's a campaign called Free Our Feeds, led by a group of tech entrepreneurs. Their goal is simple: to build a digital ecosystem that can't be controlled by a single person or company. They're tackling this at a time when many are getting fed up with the current state of social media. Think about it. Meta recently dissolved its fact-checking program, while X has loosened restrictions on hate speech and disinformation. These incidents are increasingly pushing people to look for alternatives or even just disconnect entirely. Free Our Feeds wants to build on Blue Sky's technology, which provides a shared language, allowing computer servers to communicate more freely. A major change is coming to Google Maps. The Gulf of Mexico is being renamed the Gulf of America. Google says the update will roll out once it's officially added to the US geographic names system. Now, here's where it gets a little complicated. This change will only be visible in the US. In Mexico, it'll still be the Gulf of Mexico. And for places outside the US and Mexico, both names will appear on Google Maps. This move comes after Trump made the change official last week as part of a flurry of executive actions hours after taking office on the 20th of January.
This is the body of water without America in the picture. It is still quite a large cutout into the land, and it would be a bay. You could call it a gulf if you wanted to. This, on the other hand, if it's just America, that's not even close. That's not even close. Mexico? America. Come on. I don't know about you guys, but this looks more like the most important part of this Gulf that then gets extended by the United States. So the Gulf of Mexico would potentially make sense.
Ever wished you could extend your holiday, but work gets in the way? Well, if you have a remote job, you can stay longer in New Zealand. So is it time to book those tickets?
The New Zealand government is easing visa regulations to enable holiday tourists to work remotely while visiting into the country in a bid to boost the country's economy. The change came into effect this week and will allow holidaymakers to work while traveling through the country. The changes applies to all the visitor visa, including the tourists and people visiting families. So my friend, isn't it great news? Say to the friends, my friend, stress less, enjoy the best and take care.
According to social media, we all have attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, that's ADHD, and it's a cool thing. But in reality, it is a serious issue if timely precautions are not taken. A recent study in the British Journal of Psychiatry found that adults with ADHD have a shorter life expectancy. Women with ADHD died nearly 9 years earlier on average, while men died around 7 years earlier. The research involving 30,000 ADHD patients in the UK highlights the serious impact of the disorder. It's a neurodevelopmental condition, causes focus difficulties, hyperactivity, and impulsiveness. Experts say systems like education, healthcare, and employment often fail to support people with ADHD, contributing to lower life expectancy.
Most common cause of death for ADHD people are accidents. Another important factor is the emotional reactivity or impulsivity and how it affects relationships, and the quality of your relationships significantly determines your life expectancy. And the quality of your relationships also determines your mental health. So depression, anxiety, suicidality, all of these, substance abuse, these all factor in and they're all compounding on one another. Difficulty keeping doctor's appointments. There's often sleep disorders linked with it, eating disorders linked with it. But life expectancy can increase and your health can improve when you're able to manage your ADHD symptoms through medication, behavioral therapy, ADHD coaching programs.
Nearly 1 billion people celebrate Chinese New Year globally. It marks the first new moon of the Chinese lunisolar calendar. The festival lasts 15 days, and it's the most important holiday in many Asian cultures. A key tradition of this festival is giving red envelopes filled with money or hongbao, because they symbolize good luck. But the amount inside requires careful thought.
If you're a parent, give $20 or up to the amount that you're happy to give.
Red envelopes should always be given out in pairs, because one represents you and the other represents your spouse. Only give one red packet if you're widowed or divorced.
If you're not married, you're not required to give out red envelopes. But if you started making money, you can give one envelope to your elders to show appreciation.
To your elders, especially your parents and grandparents, always give $100 to $300.
To the younger generations without income, especially the ones still at school, you can give $10 to $30.
Make sure the bills you put in the red envelopes are brand new. Giving dirty or wrinkled bills is in bad taste.
And to show respect, always receive your red envelopes with both hands and say an auspicious phrase such as 恭喜发财.
Chinese New Year, or Spring Festival, features a different animal each year from the Chinese zodiac's 12-year cycle. 2025 is the year of the snake. Now we leave you with the celebration visuals. We hope you enjoy these vibrant moments from the festival. From all of us here, Kong Hei Fat Choi.